Hi guys, this is Gary Chan. Just another tip on house hacking today. Putting sort of like post-it notes. I don't have any post-its, but what I'm doing is I'm cutting out little 3x5 card pieces and using a little bit of painter's tape. It's that blue tape, and putting notes on areas of things that I want to do on my house. So in my mind, I stay fairly organized. I've got probably like 20 things of things I know I want to do in my house. But when I have someone come over, they don't remember if I give them a list of 7 things. And maybe it's a good idea to have them write it down. But I've written a list of things for them to do, and usually most of it never gets done. It's usually the last thing I verbally mention them to do, or it's the one thing that takes the longest that they work on. And then they never refer to the list. So they'll ask me, hey, what do you want me to do next? And I say, hey, there's a list. So anyway, what I'm doing now is I want to show you my post-it note. Here I'm stating that I want to make this wall gray. And this is a really dank, dirty, it looks kind of dirty and horribly bad staircase down to the basement. But I'm thinking if I use gray here, it will cover a lot of this, the imperfections here. And if it gets dusty or dirty, it'll help cover it up pretty well. I did that at one of my other houses and it seemed to work pretty well. The color tones look nice. And then over here, I put a note. This is a little house hack thing. Now, I'm doing rental grade here. So I have the liberty to do a lot of experimentation and see how things work out. And sometimes things work out, sometimes they don't work out. I have one person renting here, and he's like, man, I feel like I'm living in a rehab house, and it sort of is a rehab house. Upstairs, his room is like really nice and well done. The kitchen is done functionally. The stove, fridge, water, everything works. The bathroom works. But the rooms that are still being fixed up, like the living room, dining room, and as here you can see the basement, a lot of it's just cosmetic that needs to be fixed. But my plans were to get the rooms ready to rent. So I have 3 rooms ready to rent, but 1 rented, and continue rehabbing. So I can rehab at my own pace, and I don't feel like I'm rushed to get everything done on a certain schedule. And if I had a bank loan on this thing or private money lenders, it would be a little bit stressful because 1 year out on this project and I have 1 room rented and I'm living in 1 room. So basically, right now financially it looks okay, but it looks more than okay, I would say. But if I had a bank loan, and it would be maybe a different story. So anyway, this is actually the first time I've done little post-it note things. And the other thing I want to mention about the post-it note thing is that it gets information off of my mind, so I know now it's somewhere in the world. Another thing I do is I have Excel spreadsheets. I use Google Drive. On my phone, I have Google Sheets. I have Google Docs. And I'll make notes of things that need to be done, or hardware or materials I need to get the hardware store. But I find that the list, I used to keep a list, but then never really referred to it because I can mentally recall by looking at a lot of things what I needed to get done. And the other thing about lists is that you need to go sometimes through the whole list to kind of find what you need, or go through the whole list to just recall. And there could be potentially a lot of stuff going on. So on the organization point of me remembering things that I need to do, when I see a room, I kind of have an idea of what I want done. Now this room right here, I'm thinking, okay, well, I've got white walls. And if you see the crown molding here is kind of an off-white color. And I'll show you the whole room here if I can. That goes to the living room. The guy that's gonna help me today is just got in. I hear the motor of their car. So I'll be stopping this video soon. But here are my paints for the room that I don't really know what I want to use, so I'll be talking to him what he thinks. I've got a white, I've got a gray tone, and I could do two-tone with white and gray, possibly. And I've also got up here 5 buckets, 1 gallon buckets. And each 1 gallon can do about 350 to 400 square feet. At least that's what they say on the can. And I've got like this light blue right here. I don't know if you can see that. This one right here. And I got this other kind of like a light blue tone. So I'm thinking I could do like a two-tone, like a white and then one of those light blues, or a white and then the gray. Or I could do the whole room gray, but then the crown molding sort of has this creamy color. So I could do everything white and then keep the creamy color of the crown molding. But I'm gonna be using this airless spray gun. It's a Wagner Control Pro 130, and it's still kind of in the bag. I used a lower grade handheld Wagner airless spray gun, or it actually uses air. This one's airless. So this is an upgrade. This is probably about a $200 product. And I'm hoping that this I'm really happy with air guns. They get the job done 10 times faster than brushing and 4 times faster than rolling. At least that's how they advertise it. But it's definitely faster, way, way faster. So a 1 hour job could, by brushing, it was something that could take 5 to 10 hours. This will take an hour. You just go spray, spray, spray. And if you look at the videos online of samples of air gun sprays on YouTube and how they show that the guy that's doing the air gun is done, and then the guy that's hand brushing, it's like 25% done, if even that. I think that's pretty realistic because of the dipping time and then brushing the brush off the edge of the paint bucket so it doesn't drip. So I'm using brushes outside because in areas where you might get the paint on the roof tiles or off like the window, like the edge of the window and stuff like that. I know I could edge it, you know, like paint around a border around the window, but those areas that I was doing, I don't know if you see my other videos, but where I was doing the edging, what do you call it? So I was doing like the window frame, you know, painting the frame of the windows, painting the frame of the arch of the, I can't think of the word right now, but like the arch of in the front of the roof where there's wood pieces. They're so narrow, they're probably only like 4 inches wide. So if I hit it with the air gun, it's like the whole thing is an edge. It's that narrow anyway. And I would say that the idea with this, if I were to preserve the crown molding, is I would paint on the near the crown molding up to about 6 inches, and then I would air gun the rest of it. So there still needs to be a little bit of paint brushing that happens here. So I'll talk with the guy that's gonna work on my house and see what he thinks since he's doing the work. And sometimes it's good to talk to the guys that help you do the work, because ultimately I make decisions. Half the time I never agree with people I get an opinion from. But if they come up with an idea and I'm like, oh, I never thought about that, I might actually go with it. And sometimes it works out good, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes my ideas work out, sometimes they don't. But it's always good to have a lot of ideas and then put it on the table, put it in your mind, think through it, and then figure out what's going to work best for you. And your situation might be different than someone else's situation. So you kind of figure out what you think in your situation is the best thing, and then move forward on that. My opinion about taking people's advice is, even if someone has 30 years of experience and they're like, hey, like that guy didn't take my advice, that's why it didn't work out, blah, blah, blah. Well, a lot of times I don't take people's advice with 30 years of experience and it works out even better when I don't take their advice, sometimes it works out better, sometimes it doesn't, but it works out, um, on average, it works out better because there's so many other things that I've considered about my situation that they really aren't in my shoes to understand. So, what else? I think I've beaten this to a dead horse. I hope that kind of helps you guys on your house hacking journey, or if you're thinking about remodeling or doing low cost paint work on your house, or if you're thinking about improving your house to sell it, this would apply as well because the key, I think one of the key things that is a big money saver is to use the air gun, because if you can get a job done in 1 hour versus it taking 10 hours, let's say you're paying someone $15 an hour, it would cost you $150 for the 10 hours versus $15. Now, given the machine costs $200, but if you're going to do multiple rooms, the machine will pay it for itself. Now, I'm doing kitchen, dining, living room. I've already used one of these machines at my other house, which was probably about 7 rooms. I've saved at least 30 hours of work, just off the top of my head. So, and then the quality of it also, you got to think about what do you want it to look like. This has a more professional grade quality. It's not going to have the brush strokes of the paintbrush, or I mean, a rolled on appearance could go pretty well. Some people like that. But I might do another video one day on kitchen cabinets with one of these air spray guns. But you want that high quality look, like the cabinets cost $5,000 and all you've done is put $200 worth of paint and labor into it. All right, I guess that's good for today, and you guys have a good day.